everybody, and welcome back to my channel. We are in Bedrock Edition today, and we are going to go over block swaps that are flush with the floor, wall, or ceiling. Now, I did do one in Java, but I wanted to do one for those Bedrock lovers out there. Now, between the two, the Java and Bedrock, there's not very many differences, except for, how the redstone operates. And so, again, I thought I would get one out for you guys. Before we start, just take note that this is very similar setup, and when we get to here, I'll explain why we have the extra bits down here at the bottom. But when you gather your redstone components, they all use the same amount, so that is fantastic. Except when we get to the second variant of the wall, this one's because of the piston at the top and the bottom, and then when we build this one, it's going to be left and right. But anyways, when we get to the second variant, it's going to require 3 extra redstone pieces, and I think Java required 1 extra one, but even so, redstone dust is relatively easy to find, and so I wanted to say that before we actually get started on the materials here. And so on the top there, you're going to need 3 redstone torches, 2 regular pistons, 2 repeaters, 2 redstone dust pieces, and 1 sticky piston. And then if you do the second variant, the 3 redstone pieces there, you're going to have 5 instead of 2. And then at the bottom is where I have broke down your pistons and the redstone torches and your repeaters. And I do note that I don't have any logs on there. I just wanted to do the core components that is required for your pistons and all that good stuff. And so if you're doing the second variant, it's going to be 17 pieces of redstone. But if not, we are going to do 14 pieces of redstone dust, 12 cobblestones, 7 sticks, 6 stone, 3 iron ingots, and 1 slime ball. So I will go ahead and gather this material here, and then I'm going to use a smooth stone as my material for my floor, wall, or ceiling. And then in this build that I'm about to show you, I'm going to use this verdant frog light. So here we go. I always like to start with repeaters. I don't know why, but you wanted to go into this block, and then just remember that you need this structure before you start. And then redstone torch in the middle of those 2 repeaters, and then on the end you're going to have a redstone torch. And then before we place our redstone dust on the top, always put your pistons down first, because when they're extended you cannot get your swap blocks in there, and you'll have to delete your redstone pieces again in order to do that. And then some kind of block material to help you stand just high enough to place your sticky piston on top of this torch. And oh my goodness, guys, I nailed it, Let's try that again. So again, you want to have something to stand on so you can do it on the top just like that. Got it first time. And then the wall material, which I'm using smooth stone, I'm going to put it on the sticky piston. And then I like to use the right side, but you can use the left side as long as you have a space on either end. Yep. And then your redstone dust goes on top, just like that. And then you should have everything that should make it work. And so here you go. Pushes it out, and then swaps it back. And then this is where you're going to put your wall material. You can put it around here, just like that. Swaps it, and then swaps it back. And what's cool about these builds is that these 2 pistons right here can actually rotate. Well, actually the middle one will have to too, but you can rotate it in any direction that you need it to go. And so when we do the floor here, the only difference is that the middle piston is standing upright right by the torch in the middle, except or not being on the top like the wall one. So that's the only difference there, because these pistons are resting on top of the torch as well. And so here it is. So it does work. Just like that. And then this is where you place your floor material. Just like this. And then you press the button, it'll swap it, put your light out. And then when you're done, it'll swap it back. So the difference in this one is that the torches are going to be on top of the pistons this time on the left and right. And then this piston is actually facing downward because, it's the ceiling, but it is still right beside the middle torch. And then the redstone in Java, if you have it on top here, it actually powers this piston, but in Bedrock it doesn't. And so we have to make a platform for the redstone to actually power this on. And so when it alternates between these two, the redstone torch and the redstone piece, it actually lets these two have their turn swapping the block. And so that's why we gotta have that. Now two is I'm using the green so that it's a better contrast so you guys can see what I'm doing. But in reality, if this ceiling is a little wider than 3 blocks, you just replace that with the material you're using and then just place the redstone dust on top, so it'll still work. Oh, we don't want to do that yet. So it does swap just like that, and then this is where you will put your ceiling material. You would go all the way around, and then we'll see it in action again, and then it hides away. Now we are going to build the second variant, and I will show you a couple of differences between the two versions, Java and Bedrock. So let's go ahead and get this. Man, that sheep was hungry, I guess. He wanted that piece of grass. Hey, buddy. Is it just me, or does that eyes always look kind of weird? I mean, even Steve's eyes, he looks kind of cross-eyed. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Anyways, be sure to have a space below your piston, because we will be putting a torch there. And then from the bottom piston to the top piston, you're going to have 3 blocks space in between them, and then the sticky piston is going to be pushing the middle block outward. And again, for everything, you can rotate around in a circle. And so what you want to start off with is you're going to have 2 blocks of your choice, or whatever you're going to use to hold your redstone components. You're going to have 2 like this, and then you're going to staircase it up 1, and then you're going to staircase backwards 1, just like that. And then you're going to stack 2 and destroy the middle. And then you're going to go back 1, and then you're going to place 1 right beside the top piston. And then your last block is you've got to staircase it from there. Now you can have this on either side depending on where you want to put your input. And so wherever these middle torches are for all these builds is going to be your input, and so its input is going to be right there. I feel like I've said input a lot. So there's a repeater that goes there. And then you want a repeater that goes against this block. Next, we want to put the torch underneath this piston. That's the reason why we need that space. And then you're going to put a torch here, and then we'll put the third torch at the end. So next we got our redstone dust, but remember it's going to be 5 since we're on the second variant. And so there's 3, 4, and 5. And so here I can explain Bedrock edition, as far as redstone not breaking when the piston extends in this edition, is fantastic. I kind of wish it was in Java as well. I think we can get away with some really cool builds, a little bit more compact if we're able to do that, but you can't in Java. And then 2 is if you power a block right 2 blocks above a piston in Java, it will actually power it on, but in Bedrock it does not do that. And so and another thing that I noticed too, if you actually have a torch on the side of a piston and it gets powered on, oh, actually I can show you. Look at that, it powers off. And so that's kind of interesting too. And so we got that, and then our last torch is actually going to go right here on that block. You should see it extend out. And then, like I said, this is going to be your input. And yeah, let's go ahead and push the button. Swaps to your crafting bench, and then it swaps it back to the other block. And then again, guys, this is where your material is going to go. Oops. Just like that, and then we'll see it in action again 2 more times. When you're done with your crafting bench, you can have it hide away in the wall, which is cool. And then with that, guys, as my wife always says, hooty hooty chicken booty, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hello, little buddy.